Hoff here. Welcome to Hoffcast. That's cool. I just got a notification on my phone that Hoffcast is live. Here's something I want to try to do tonight. I want to try to get the microphone a little bit better because I don't want to sound like I'm in a room. I want to sound like I'm talking to you. So, you know what I mean? I would like to try to adjust that microphone and get a little bit closer to where I'm speaking. And I think that might be a better way to do things. But I hope you all are having a good one. Um, this is the show where we discuss current events theories and laugh at the insanity of the world. Camera adjusted here just a bit, and we're gonna have a time tonight. We're gonna have a time. Let me go ahead and mute that. But we're gonna have a time. I'm trying to get this microphone close to me because I feel like my audio feels like I'm always speaking like I'm in a room and I'm not like speaking to a microphone. So that's the goal with this episode, is to try to get this to sound like I'm actually doing something slightly professional, I suppose. And I don't even know if it does or doesn't. But regardless, I want to thank you all for being here right now. I want you watching right now or here in the future. If you're watching right now, say hi in the chat. You know, make friends in the chat. Say hello. I like to see people around here. It's a big part of why I do this. I mean, I talk to myself all the time. So like coming on and do a live stream is kind of like there we go. It's kind of like getting this stuff out of my head a little bit. So I appreciate anyone who's watching or listening now or in the future. Let's see what's going on here. You know, we'll ease into things, but it's going to be mainly a one topic show tonight. Mainly a one topic show. But just me personally, I don't know what my schedule is going to be coming up here in the next week, but just want to let everyone know I have a surgery coming up. Wednesday, the 28th of January. I have a surgery coming up. It's to get this cyst taken out of my forehead. And I'm pretty nervous about it. You know, they're gonna numb it and everything. It's only gonna take like 20 minutes. But I've had this cyst on my forehead. I went to the doctor last week, and I was really nervous. I was like, is it like a tumor? It's not a tumor. I was like, is it cancer or something? And they were like, no, it's just a run of the mill cyst. We can get that right out of you. So, yeah, I'm going to have surgery on that next Wednesday. And, I'm going to get rid of this. My third eye basically is what I'm going to be getting rid of. I thought it was my third eye opening, but it's really just a cyst. I'm a little bit disappointed because I was really hoping for a third eye. I thought I was really becoming enlightened, you know, in the world. But it turns out it's just a cyst, and they're gonna take that bad boy out. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna numb my forehead, you know, with local numbing agents, which is great because I would not want them to be out of state. And so they're going to put that in my head. They're going to numb it. And I imagine they'll take like an X-Acto knife and slice through that bad boy. And they said they're going to do like a diamond shape or a football shape. Depending, I don't know if they're using sports references like a baseball field or a football. I don't care about either of those sports. I like racing. But whatever they want to do, it's fine. But they have to sew it back up. I have to get stitches. I have to be bandaged up and everything. And so I don't know how that's going to go. I've never had a surgery like this before in my life. Apparently it's not a big deal. But it's not even super expensive either. I thought it was going to be like super pricey. I thought it was going to be something much more serious than what it is, and it's nothing serious apparently. So, but they do a thing where whatever they're gonna extract out of my forehead, they will send to a lab, and then who knows, it might come back as like some brand new cancer they've never heard of before. I don't know, but what the lady told me was it's just a cyst. Just a run-of-the-mill cyst is what the lady told me. I'm trusting her. I'm hoping she's right, you know. I'm wondering, dude, like, I'm not good with this stuff. Like, wish me luck, but I'm not good with this kind of stuff. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm quite nervous about it. I know it's a nothing burger, but I'm quite nervous about the whole thing just because I don't think anyone, unless you're getting a tattoo or a piercing, and I've never done any of that in my life, unless you're willing to go get stabbed, I don't think it's a good time ever for anyone to have to go get stabbed and have to pay money to get stabbed, especially in the face. So yeah, they're gonna stab me in the face next week. Basically, I'm gonna get if you don't like me, if you don't like Hoff, guess what? Hoff's getting stabbed in the face next week, and you can cheer that on. But if you do like Hoff, well then give me well wishes and everything. Let me say hi to the chat here real quick. What's up, Base Brooks? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm not sure who this is. Pleasant Valley. You're either new or you're someone who changed their name. But if you're new, welcome. If you're someone who changed your name, let me know who you are, because sometimes that happens. Yeah, I was just MLK. That's a whole different topic, but yeah, I know that MLK was not he's not the Martha Luther King Jr. He wasn't the greatest dude ever. Troll said minimal scarring. Yeah, when it comes to this procedure, I will have a scar. I will. But a scar is going to be way more cool than having a big bump on my forehead. Yeah, scalpel probably. Yeah, that's what I imagine. Jess Sparks, what's up? What is up? No, Tony's around. Tony is around. I don't think he will be joining me live, but because I discussed it with him. If he changes his mind, fine. But I already discussed it. He said he wasn't really he didn't want to go live tonight. So I was like, that's cool. He said he did want to hang out backstage though. So Jess says, you got a cyst somewhere. Yeah, it's right here, dude. This big bump on my forehead. You can't really see it because the camera sometimes it kind of hides it, but yeah, it's been there for about 1.5 to 2 years now. It's just getting bigger. So I'm getting surgery on that a week from Wednesday. And again, I'm not excited about it, but like I don't want to have like a tennis ball on my forehead eventually. You know what I mean? I bet nip it out now. Nip it at the bud, and so hopefully that goes well. Hopefully they don't accidentally stab me in the brain. They don't go too far. And I think I want to be blindfolded for it, to be honest with you. I think I would prefer to be blindfolded. I might ask them, like, can I bring my sleep mask in? Can I bring that in, and just so I don't have to see anything? I don't, numb it up. I don't like needles either, but I'm just not a big fan of stabbings. People get those if you've watched Hoffcast for any period of time, you know that how I feel about body modifications. Not a big fan. Not the only body modification that I'm really cool with is a haircut. Which I would get a haircut right now. But it's just too cold. It's just too cold. I need the long hair. I put the toboggan on. I still got a little bit of feather tail in the back to keep the back of my neck warm. Peter, what's up? How you doing? There's Tony Nasser right there. Pleasant Valley says new. Yes. Well, welcome to Hoffcast. Welcome to Hoffcast. Dale says welcome. Dale's my cat here. There he goes. He's just trying to get comfy. It's cold out here. There he is. But yeah, welcome to the channel. And if you're new here, it it gets going. We kind of, it's like a diesel truck. It starts off slow. You got to warm it up, and then you get into it, and the pistons start firing, and then the smoke comes out the pipes, and then we really got something going on here. So that's kind of how this show works. And every episode is similar, but they're all different. You know what I mean? I guess it's like any podcast. But welcome so much. Hope you stick around, subscribe, keep commenting. Everyone here is really nice. If you like to have conversation, this is the place to do it, because everyone's really nice and they're smart and they know how to spell, you know. Peter says, just close your eyes. I do that at the dentist. I think that's a great idea. I don't know, man. I just don't want to see something coming at me. Like, my eyes are so close to this that, like, to see something, it's, other people have been through worse. I understand that, but it's new to me, and it's not typical it's not like every week you get your face cut into, Hand of Seeds, what's up? What is up? What's going on? Good to see you as always. Glad you're here. Very glad you're here. All the bosses. Love the bosses. Basebrook says, I don't see Kira on the couch. Well, look at this. There she is. There she is right there. She's she's half husky, so it's like, it's wintertime. It's like -5 degrees outside right now or something, according to the wind chill factor. But so she doesn't really need to stay curled up, but she does, and she's just trying to keep warm around here. I think we all are. That's why my cat Dale's right here. He's trying to stay warm in my lap. That's what he likes to do. Look at that guy. Look at that little fella right there. He's going to be here probably the whole show. But yep. Pleasant Valley, I'm going to call you PvP for short, if that's cool. Yeah, we're going to get into that. It's going to be mainly a one-topic show tonight. Normally, I'll do numerous topics, but I think tonight's going to be a one-topic show. It's hard, like kind of late, so I don't want to do a 3-hour stream tonight, but I do have a specific topic. And if you want to know what I have to say about Don Lemon, well, stay tuned. It's not going to take long to figure that out. I'm just doing my warm-up and introductions here right now. Jim, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? You got to notice, I guess YouTube ain't all bad, I guess YouTube's not all bad. Not just that, I don't know if anyone else noticed. No one said this in the chat yet. No one has said, Hoff, where are your sunglasses? Where's your hat? No one has said anything like that. And I thought that would be the first thing that people would say to me, because normally everyone's, why are you wearing sunglasses at night, Hoff? Why? Because it's bright in here, and I don't like to have the lights bright. Also, I don't like you to see my eyes. I like to bluff like a poker player. Poker face, poker face. But yeah, I'm surprised no one else mentioned the fact that I'm not wearing sunglasses tonight, because I don't remember the last stream I ever did not wearing sunglasses or some sort of shades or a hat or something. Like, I feel pretty raw and naked out here right now, to be honest with you. That's how I feel. But I'm putting it out there. I'm trying to get the microphone closer. I'm trying to make it feel a bit more personal and more professional. And I don't think it's working, but hey, we'll do our best to make the slight adjustments. Peter says, what a distinguished gentleman you have there with his mustache and tuxedo. Oh yeah, that's Dale. Yeah, he's in the lap there. He has a great stash, an amazing stash. It's So I named him Dale after the NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt, who drove a black and white car and had a big mustache. And I love racing, so I felt like it was a fitting name. You know? PvP says, all my friends on YouTube call me PvP. Well, awesome. Well, there we go. We're already on the same boat around here, aren't we? Player versus player. Player versus... We all players around here. Let's just warm up with something, you know. I don't even know. I'm gonna grab a random video. I'm gonna grab a random video and just hopefully it's I can show it. Dude, everything's so oh no, I can't show that. That's not good. No. I didn't want to talk about that one. Dude, you scroll through VidMax for like 30 seconds. All right, let's check this one out. This is I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I have no idea. I do know this is a fact. Social Security is pure theft. Listen to these numbers. Well, let's hear it out. Let's hear this woman out, Tony.
Social Security is such a joke. My mom passed away in November at 69 years old, and so me and my sisters have had to go through her
I can't hear anything.
Her and my stepdad paid into Social Security, paid their taxes their whole lives. My stepdad died at like 61 before he ever took any Social Security out.
Yeah.
And so my mom, because his Social Security was more, my mom could only take his Social Security, and hers just goes back into the system.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they paid over $1 million in Social Security throughout their lives.
Holy.
My mom now didn't take Social Security out till she was 65, and she died at 69. So she was getting like $32,000 a year, times 4. Not that much, $120,000.
Honey, don't drive and record the video at the same time. Park it and do it. I can't. I hate when people drive and make a video, dude. Drive the car. Be aware of your surroundings. I can't stand that.
She's taken out. Literally, the second you die, the funeral home tells the IRS and Social Security. That's like the first thing they do when they receive your loved one, so they can stop your Social Security check. So Social Security profited like $900,000 off my parents.
Yeah, you don't say. You don't say. A lot of government organizations are scams, much like Social Security. I remember I was working at a pizza place about 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 to 15 years ago. I worked there a few times, to be honest with you. Papa John's. Papa John's. I don't even know what, I don't remember what place it was. Papa John. But I remember that there was an old guy there that worked there, and he was like 60. So not like ancient, but he was like 58 to 60. I worked there a few years. John. And the guy would go jogging every morning before work. And he would come, he had more energy at 58 than I do right now in my late 30s. And so this guy, I remember him coming in one day, and he says, all you youngins ain't going to have no Social Security in 10 years. And this was like 10 or 15 years ago. So I'm thinking he might be on to something here. I'm thinking that guy might have been on to something. Maybe I should have been jogging. But also, he was like 60 years old working at a pizza place. I don't know if I want to be in that position when I'm 60. I might be. I don't know. I'm not above it. Who knows? But I hope I'm not. I'm hoping Hoffcast carries me to the finish line. It ain't. But, you know. I'm hoping that's not what I got to do. By the way, I mean, like, people don't even like DoorDash anymore because so many DoorDashers, they'll eat your food, they'll steal your food, or they'll spray pepper spray on your food. That was a real story. Can I find that one? Let me see if I can find the article. We might have already covered this. I don't think we did, but yeah, check this out here. I'm waiting for the ad to finish. That's why you're not seeing it yet. I don't pay for premium. I don't pay any of these companies nothing. Here we go.
Drops off a bag of food and takes a photo to document a DoorDash delivery woman drops off a bag of food and takes a photo to document the delivery. So far, so good.
What a handsome lady.
The food was delivered to homeowner Mark Hardin's front door in
No
Evansville,
homeowner.
Indiana. The meal was from Arby's. Then something happened to his wife, Mandy.
She started eating and she started coughing and gasping. The next thing I know, that she's gagging enough that it's made her throw up, and I.
Look, this is what we do here at Hoffcast, okay? If you don't like it, I'm not sorry, because you're not gonna get this kind of commentary anywhere else. A lot of people would just watch this and let it go. But I am not one to do such a thing. I'm not one to do such a thing. Let's take a look at the home behind this man. I'm sure the first thing you notice is in the top left, it says, "We met in a bar." So you got Mandy and Andy, whatever this guy's name is. Mandy gets sick off of Arby's, delivered by a troll in a wig. Not only that, but he's got his coat hooks that say home right here. And right above it, a Lamb of God poster. If you don't know who Lamb of God is, they're like one of the heavier metal bands out there. You know, he likes to drink. He likes to party. He met his wife in a bar. He likes Lamb of God. He's got his ears pierced. Seems like a man child a little bit. It seems like a little bit of a man child. But I don't blame him. I'm a man child. I'm a man child. So you know what? I can't blame him. But I also can't blame him for trying to DoorDash Arby's. But I think this is a lesson for everybody out here. Because the reason people think that this woman pepper sprayed his food is because the allegations were he didn't tip. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I never heard the full story.
Come in here and I noticed that there was some type of spray on the bag, and that's when I went back and watched the footage from my doorbell camera and realized that the food had been tampered with.
You can say that again. When Cardin watched the footage, he noticed that after the driver snapped the photo.
Not all criminals are black, everybody. Look at that. It's a joke, of course. I think she claimed to be trying to spray a spider that was in the bushes there. You see she's spraying, that's pepper spray. But she claimed to be spraying spiders. Now, come on. Let's just be real around here. I hate spiders, but I don't carry around spider spray. Nor would I go to someone else's house and spray their spiders. What if they want the spiders? You know what I mean? Like, some people like spiders. They catch bugs. I'm not out there. I'm not doing, what's it called? When they cure the plants. I'm not out there doing fumigation or what's that word? Starts with a P, I think. But I'm not out there trying to like shoot anyone's plants with anything. I don't carry bug spray on me day and night. But this woman's excuse is she didn't spray the food with pepper spray. She was spraying spiders.
She sprayed something that he believes is pepper spray right on the bag. Why would the delivery driver pepper spray a customer's food? Did they even know who she was?
I've never met her before in our life. Just walk up to our house, spray pepper spray on our food.
Was she unhappy with the tip? Here's a receipt from the order. It shows they tipped $2 on.
If she was going to put pepper spray on it, at least she could have done is put a little salt spray on it. Forget I said that.
The nearly $28 meal, that's just a 7% tip. I spoke to Sheriff Noah Robinson.
Are you disturbed by what you see on this video?
I am deeply alarmed and disappointed. We're taking...
He's not even talking about the crime. He's talking about... He's talking about the hair. The nose ring.
the matter very seriously, and we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that this person is held accountable for their actions.
Inside edition. Holy crap, people. Holy crap. So yeah, I'm not about getting the DoorDash, you know. I'm not really about getting the DoorDash anymore. I've had so much of my food stolen or like it didn't get delivered or whatever. I probably wasted $70 on food on DoorDash that I never received. And that's including the delivery fees. And then like I stopped the pre-tipping because I didn't even know if it would show up to my door. So I stopped pre-tipping. And then that makes them even more mad. I think like this lady in that video where it escalates, you know? So like we're not tipping. The customer's not tipping because we don't know if we're going to get our food or not. And she don't get the pre-tip. So she gets mad and sprays the food with pepper spray. And she thinks that's fair game. I don't think that's fair game, but I mean, she is in trouble with the law. She is. I think she's been arrested and she's being dealt with. I mean, it was on Inside Edition, for crying out loud. I'm not trying to get hiccups out here. Jess Sparks says, I delivered stuff for DoorDash. And usually I just left the food at the door and that was the end of that. There was one time I did get turned around in a hospital, but the person I delivered to gave me at least a good tip for like $8. Nice. But again, for crying out loud, every you do per week will be added to your income for a deposit in your bank directly. Yeah, so it's like, look, I've worked I was a pizza delivery guy for years. And you don't get tipped every time. In fact, I would have regular customers that would order from the store, I don't know, 3-4 times a week. I think that's excessive for Pizza Hut. I mean, allegedly. But they would order 3-4 times a week and they'd never tip. But the thing is, like, they were customers that kept buying. But I never got a tip, and I eventually expected, like, I'm going to deliver to this single cat lady in her apartment, and she's going to thank me very nicely, but she's not going to tip me. And that's just the way it was, you know? I never, ever once thought about bringing poison to her home. Never once thought about bringing poison to her home and spraying poison in her plants and on her food. I never once considered that. Where these blue-haired weirdos, they're vengeful. They're evil people. They're evil people. Let's just not lie. Let's not lie. Here's where the show's starting to ramp up. If you like Hoffcast, we're ramping it up right now, baby. I've known a lot of these people. Is my mic too loud? Someone let me know in the chat. Is it too loud? Am I too close right now? Does it sound good? I'm a little bit closer than I normally am, so I was just wondering. I've seen the red light come on a couple of times, so I'm hoping I'm not clipping too much. But I've known a lot of these people. They are... I'm talking about these people who dye their hair and they get all the piercings, the tattoos. They have the bull ring tattoo in their nose. I used to date one. I've known a lot of these people over the years. They're nice to your face. You know, and they pretend. They pretend like they are super sweet and gentle, nice people. And you get to know them, and a lot of them have backgrounds of aggression, and they have to be put on medications. And it's like a ticking time bomb with these people. It's like you never know when they're just gonna... Yeah, they seem like it's just a powder keg until you just happen to light it, and then it blows up. Like, that's what these people are. Like, they have no self-preservation. They hate themselves. What are they covering up with all their tattoos and piercings? What are they trying to hide? You know? And again, if you have tattoos or piercings, which I'm sure, you know, like 99% of people in this world now have tattoos and piercings except me. And I think Tony Nasser. But I'm not trying to call you out. I know I'm sure a lot of people in my chat have these things, but or even watch this video now or in the future. But there's an extremity of it. It's fine if you know, it's like anything. It's like moderation. It's all moderation. You do things in moderation. But a lot of people are like, the only reason I'm working to get my next paycheck is so I can get my next tattoo or piercing. And I'm like, yeah. I'm trying to not have my forehead stabbed next Wednesday. And you're paying $400 for an 8-hour session of getting a tattoo of a fairy on your back or some crap. You know, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But these people are insane. My whole thing, the entire point that I'm trying to make is these people, you can't trust anyone who doesn't trust themselves. You cannot trust anyone who doesn't trust themselves. If you see someone and they look like a clown, it's because, holy crap. I was going to say because they are a clown. PvP, you beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch on that one. You beat me to the punch. I think you'll fit in right at home here at Hoffcast. Now, I agree. No, they're not all. But, you know, stereotypes do exist for a reason, you know. They do. But it doesn't mean 100%. A stereotype, which a lot of people who are weak-minded think a stereotype applies to everybody, those are people who are actually racist. Those are people who are actually bigots. And they call themselves tolerant. But those are the ones who are bigoted. And it's because they can't decipher the difference between fact and fiction. And what they think is, oh, you say that someone's like this, then they're all like that. No. But stereotypes do exist for a reason. You know, I mean, they wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be, they wouldn't even be there if it wasn't real. If I'm making any sense right now. What I'm saying is like like there's a reason for them. There's a typical thing that people do. You know what I mean? Like I'm a white guy. I'm not really into rap music. I know there are a lot of white guys that are, but you know what I mean? Like this is a bad analogy here. We live in a world where everything is for everybody now, and that's kind of annoying. You know what I mean? I don't like that at all. Like, period. I don't like, dude. I don't like where it's like, oh, whenever during the BLM riots, NHL was like, hockey is for everyone. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not saying you can't like hockey, whoever you are, but it's not for everyone. Stop trying to force people to like something they don't like. I don't like basketball. Black people don't like hockey. It's pretty damn simple. Stop trying to force people to like things. Stop trying to force women into sports or men into women's sports. You know what I'm saying? Like this is so stupid to me. It's beyond stupid to me that people try to do this sort of thing. They coerce. Oh, it's for everybody. I remember during the BLM riots, the X Games where they do skateboarding on a 12-foot half pipe. There are dudes doing double backflips on bicycles. And all the banners around the X Games say, shred hate. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Shred hate? What are you talking about? This is all made up crap that these people do. It's all organizations paid off by who knows what. Shred hate at the X Games? Hockey is for everyone? I know the NFL had that thing in the end zone where it was like, stop racism. It's like can you be any dumber? Can you really be can you actually be any more dumb? Who's promoting this crap? You know? Who would ever promote something like in the X Games? Who would ever be like, yeah, let's get some equality crap going? Hockey is for everyone. No, it's not. And I'm not saying you can be you could be anyone and like hockey. You could be anybody and like hockey, but it's not for everyone. Am I making sense? Am I making any sense right now? I'm sorry if I'm losing the audience, but am I making any sense? Hockey's not for everyone, but anyone can enjoy it. But stop trying to force people into shit. Like it blows my mind when this crap happens. It's just like, what are we doing? It's no longer about competition. It's about propaganda and coercion and guilt tripping and crap like that, you know? See here, PvP says, I try to avoid generalizing. There are often exceptions. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's generalizations for a reason. But you got to treat everyone as an individual, you know? That's just the way it is. But that doesn't mean go into a conversation with a preconceived notion about somebody. That's not what I'm saying at all. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is typically people tend to act a certain way, and it's not the way for everybody. I get that. I'm not that stupid, but yeah, PvP says some of my favorite YouTube videos are by folks that look like clowns and then complain they can't get a job. Makes me laugh. There are jobs hiring strictly those sorts of people out there. I recently, excuse me, I recently applied to a job online, and they actually asked in the application process, they said, "Are you colon?" And it said straight, gay, LGBTQ, ally, or prefer not to say. And it was, you could click on one of the little, the buttons on the side of one of them and choose which one you were. And I clicked prefer not to say. I'm like, what? What fucking business do you have asking me who I fuck at night before I get hired to this job? What fucking business is he? That shouldn't even be legal to ask that question in an application. Or they already do the white, Hispanic, Black, Asian, prefer not to say. I don't even know why that matters. Why does that matter? What does that matter? Unless, oh, Hoff, are you going to make a point here? Oh, is Hoff about to make a point? Unless you're generalizing people. Go fuck everyone else. Go fuck yourselves. I'm not talking to my chat. I am not talking to you in the chat right now. Go fuck yourselves. Oh, you talking about me generalizing people? No, you're going to ask me what my race is when I apply to a job, who I'm fucking, who I'm not fucking. When it comes to applying for a job, go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. It's none of your fucking business. Why do you care about that for me to get hired for a job? Unless it's, okay, the only job that's an exception is if it's a porn job. That's the only exception. That's the only one. That's it. That is it. That is the only exception. Any other job, a real job, you should not be asking me what my race is or my sexual preference. It's none of your fucking business. I'm pretty sure you can tell I'm white when I show up to the interview. But it's none of your fucking business. It's none of your fucking... Why would they ask that on an application? Because this company is run by woke people, I'm guaranteeing. They don't want no Christians. They don't want no straights. They don't want no whites, crap like that, They don't want none of that. Let me get to the chat here for a minute, and then I'll get into the main subject in just a moment, and that's going to be fun. Jeff Sparks says, yeah, and these people who act like total degenerates never want to be judged themselves, nor people like you and me. Amen, brother. Amen. I get what you're saying there. Like, yeah, like, don't look at me. Even though I'm lit up like a billboard, don't look at me. Treat me like everyone else. It's like, well, I mean, if I see a clown in public, I'm like, oh, there's a clown. When I worked at my last job, we had this girl that would come in, dude. And she was this short little girl. And I'd say she's probably like 22 years old or whatever. And one day she came in with some new piercings. And very tiny little girl. And she came in with these piercings, and they were nails sticking out of each cheek. It was one nail, like nails, like literal nails coming out of one. As a human being who is concerned for others' health, I see someone who has nails in their face, and I kind of get worried. until I'm like, oh, you're just a fucking idiot who just stabbed yourself in the face with nails. But when you first see that, you're like, oh, are you okay? Do you need to go to the ER? You got nails in your face. And it's like, oh, no, I did this on purpose. It's like, oh, okay. But don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at the nails in my face. I'm just like you. Such a good point, Jet, you know? And just as I'm black, not really a fan of rap music either. I like rock, like Breaking Benjamin. Love Breaking Benjamin. Skillet, Papa Roach, Demon Hunter. Jet Sparks, listen to Starset. Listen to Starset. I mean, don't look them up right now, but look them up after the show. Look up the band Starset. You will absolutely love it. I promise you, dude. If you're into that sort of thing, you will love Starset. They're like in my top 3 of favorite bands of all time. PvP says I lost interest in sports about 8 years ago. I figured I didn't need to see another goal or touchdown. That's fair enough. You know, it did become pretty commercialized and everything. And then even with the gambling stuff that's been going on lately, it seems like a lot of things might be rigged. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like LeBron James, he was almost involved in like this gambling ring. They were talking about that for a minute in the NBA. I think some people got arrested like a few months ago. And basically it's because they would like pay a player to fake an injury. And that way they would already know if that team would probably lose the game without that player. So it's pretty wild. It goes deep. I'm sure it goes deep. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we don't even know. I'm sure it goes really deep with that sort of thing. And I'm surprised even those guys got caught. There seems to be so much money involved. It's like a lot of people are in on it. So they don't want to, you know, they're like, okay, you let me in on the tip. I won't say anything. You know what I mean? Like that sort of mentality. Like, oh, I won't tell on you if you tell me what's going on. That sort of business. PvP says, I prefer classic rock and early punk. Types of music I can't listen to are rap, opera, and new country. I agree with you on opera, dude. I don't like opera. I don't like a musical. I'm a musician. I've played guitar for I don't even know how many years now, 24 years. And but I hate musicals. I hate Grease. I think Grease is the worst thing that ever happened to the humanity. I think Grease is the worst thing that was ever presented to humanity. I think it's torture. I don't people love Grease. But I've seen it a couple times, and the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, kill me now, please. Kill me now. Make it stop. End it. End it. Pierce says, I like good music. I found it pretty much in every genre. 90s gangster rap is one of my guilty pleasures. I get that. I get that, man. I get that. But at least it's 90s rap, you know, and it's not I don't know. I that's probably the best rap. And I'm not even into rap really. Like I like Tom McDonald. That's about as far into rap as I get, and he's a white guy. But yeah, I used to listen to a little bit of the old stuff, you know. A little bit of Notorious B.I.G. and the Tupac Shakurs. A lot of conspiracies about, I should say theories about Biggie and Tupac. Some out there nowadays saying they were a little bit more friendly than some people would suspect. You know, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like Will Smith has had allegations recently about couches being bent over them. And, Biggie and Tupac, they might have had something going on there. Can you imagine the smells? It's a Sam Tripoli joke. Can you imagine the smells? Oh, dude. Kate, holy moly, long time no see. Good to see you. It's been a long time. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you around. Glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna get into the meat of the show. So if you saw the title of the episode, I mean, I've already gone too long. What am I, an hour in almost? Yeah, 50 minutes in. The title of the show is Don Lemon is a something. Which, I mean, do you know who Don Lemon is? Don Lemon. Don Lemon. Let me get the keyboard out here. Don Lemon is he's a lefty guy, and he's gay. You know what I mean? He used to be a CNN reporter or for one of those propaganda stations, one of those few, CNN or NBC. Don Ronaldo Lemon Clark. I think it's Lemon Clark now because he got married to a man. I believe that's the reason for the hyphenated last name is because I believe he got married to a man. I got to tell you something. My ex-girlfriend, she had a friend, and her dad had a midlife crisis where he decided to be gay. And his last name was Martin. And then he married a guy named Martin, was also his last name, just coincidentally. So he hyphenated his name. His last name was Martin Martin. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This is the truth. Absolutely true. A gay guy with the last name Martin married another gay guy with the last name Martin, just coincidentally. Hopefully it wasn't inbred. And they hyphenated it to Martin Martin. It's almost funny. Don Ronaldo Lemon Clark is an American television journalist, CNN. Yeah. He was fired in 2023. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so he's a really woke propaganda lefty gay CNN. He's literally paid to be the voice of communism, basically, allegedly. It's like, Hoff, what is the point of this if you haven't already heard? You're like, Hoff, what's the point? Why are you going after this guy all of a sudden? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what Don Lemon did on Sunday. Actually, let me preface this quickly. Dale, I'd like you to go there. Yep, there goes my jeans. Don Lemon is not a fan of ICE. You know, like where they're deporting people. He's not a big fan of that. I did a show about a week ago about how evil and crazy the people in Minnesota are, these lefties. And they're protesting ICE. They're getting themselves shot. Speaking of, that's something I did want to look up before. Yeah, I want to look this up real quick here. But so basically all these people in Minnesota are protesting ICE because they are like, why aren't you standing up for your Somali brothers and sisters? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Huh? My Somali brothers and sisters? What the fuck are you talking about? Huh? That doesn't exist. I have no Somali brothers and sisters. Dude, it was the same immigration protest riots that were going on last year with the Mexicans. Stand up for your Mexican brothers and sisters. I don't have any. I don't have any. You are not my damn brother. I am not your damn brother. All right? I am not your damn brother. Tony gets that one. Major Pain reference. What are you talking about, my Somali brothers and sisters? What are you talking about? What have they done for me? I don't ever remember. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't even pay taxes. They're here on our tax dollars. And somehow, white women are obsessed with protecting these people. Not just white women, some really stupid white men as well, who need to have their man card revoked, honestly. Honestly, they need to have their man card revoked. You need to have that taken away from you. You just have to. You're no longer a man. Let's take a look at what was going on here. Let me see if I can find some footage. Yeah, let's go through some X footage here a little bit. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Kate, have a good one. I gotta go to bed. It's 39 degrees here in Orlando. Kate. It is 9 degrees here in Columbus, Ohio. 9. You got 30 more degrees than I do down there. All right. So I wouldn't complain too much. I would give my left frozen nut for 39 degrees right now. I love you, Kate. Stay warm. It's still cold. Yeah. Also, I controlled PSYOP. Let's check this out here. Let's see what's going on with this. Don Lemon, just being an asshole as always.
The civil rights.
The setup here is they don't like ICE. The left don't like ICE. I don't care. I don't. You can whine and bitch all night. It doesn't matter. ICE is still coming, baby. But so they decided. What I guess what happened was, I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. What happened was there was a church, and allegedly the pastor of this church is an ICE agent. So that made the lefties feel like they could go in and storm a church. And like that's protesting. And led by the one and only gay Don Lemon.
This movement was about these very kinds of protests. There's nothing in the Constitution. This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street, you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution. When you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the civil rights movement was about.
This is not a civil rights movement. This is terrorism. You can't go into a church and protest. You can probably stand outside the church on the sidewalk and protest. But these deranged lefty lunatics, I hate liberals. I despise liberals. I fucking hate them. If you're a liberal, go fuck yourself. You don't belong here at Hoffcast. I don't, it's just the way it is. This is what the show is about. My entire show is about hating liberals. So if you don't like, actually, if you are a liberal, watch. You need to hear this more than anyone else. And if you are a liberal, keep watching because you need to be told more than anyone. I'm preaching to the choir out here. I'm talking to people, for the most part, who already know what I'm talking about. There's lunatics in this fucking world, man. And they are now going to churches, protesting, and they're called lefties.
The civil rights movement was about these very kinds of protests. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt, to make.
That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt. You're disrupting church on a Sunday morning? What the fuck were they doing to you? Nothing. Allegedly, the pastor is an ICE agent. Regardless, if he is or isn't, still don't give you the right to show up at their church and to break into the church. There are kids there. There's people dressed up. They're having a morning. This is terror. This is Nazism. This is fascism. Dude, the lefties they'll scream all day. Let's bash the fascists. This is the real Nazi shit right here. This is when they start invading churches. When motherfuckers start invading churches, this is the Nazi shit. This is the Nazi shit. And they're going to say that the Republicans and Trump and conservatives are Nazis. No, this is the fascism. This is the Nazi shit. And I hate to say it. I don't like when people use the word Nazi. It's overblown. There's no real Nazis in the world anymore. But if you want to use it, I'll use it right back at you. They're invading churches at this point. Let me get to the chat here for a minute. Hannah Seed says, Don Lemon was employed to get the people to talk about him instead of the fraud. Same thing with the rise. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Pierce says the Constitution gives you the right to peacefully assemble to petition the government for redress of grievances, not businesses or churches or anything else. You can't go inside a building and protest. I mean, I think January 6th, they kind of made that clear. You know? And if the lefties want to complain about January 6th, they can't go in a church and disrupt it. It's going way further than this, by the way. Yeah, PvP says disrupting people's worship in church is sick and selfish. Attacking Christians seems popular now. That's what I've been talking about. You can go after anyone. You can go after anyone. But, all right, no, I mean, you can go after any Christian. But you can't go after anyone else. You know? Christians are, everyone's got a target on their wall for a Christian. Imagine if they did this in a mosque. Imagine if they pulled this crap in a mosque. They wouldn't. We all know why. We all know why they wouldn't pull this in a mosque. PvP says, I remember the civil rights movement. Martha Luther King Jr. was a preacher. The civil rights movement had nothing to do with this crap. Don has no clue what the civil rights movement was about. Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. You seem like you've been around for a minute. Glad to have you here at PvP. Check out some more of this, though. It gets deep. Here's the preacher, or I believe this is what it is. Yeah, this is the pastor here. He was accused of being an ICE agent. And what if he is? You know what? If he is an ICE agent, I couldn't applaud this man anymore. He's a Christian ICE agent. I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, that's he's almost a perfect human being at this point. But then Don Lemon in his nasty breath walks up and he's like, in his church during service, Don Lemon walks up and he's like, hey, I'm gay in a church and I'm a Christian. Yeah. I'm surprised Don Lemon didn't set ablaze on fire as soon as he walked into the doors of that church. I can't believe it. You know, I can't believe it. But let's check this out. This is pretty rough.
To interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will.
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship.
Don Lemon literally breaks out the fucking First Amendment as he broke into a church and disrupted everyone's worship. He says, well, I have the First Amendment to come in here and do it. Well, does that give me the right to just like come into your home, Don Lemon, and like ask you questions and crap? Does that give me the right to do that? Because I'm protesting you and I have freedom of speech? Or would you have me arrested for trespassing?
Worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Okay, that's why we're here. That's what
He keeps leaning back from Don Lemon because the dude has to smell like shit. Don Lemon, I guarantee that guy smells like shit. Even for a gay guy, I bet he smells like shit.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
no
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to
unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here. We're here.
No, Don Lemon, to say that he is a Christian inside of a church and he is not set on fire by God means that God is graceful. God's like, get your gay ass out of my fucking church, bitch. Look, no, I'm kidding. God, that's not what God would say. God loves everyone, and even if you are misdirected and an evil piece of shit, God would still forgive you if you asked for it. But that's not what's going on here. This is Don Lemon's not attending church. He's invading a church in order to try to out them, and he's like, I'm a Christian. No, you're not, bitch. No, you're not. Says, yeah, let's make this pastor famous. He exposed Don Lemon and leftist rioters for storming his church. All right, let's see what he says. It says here. It says just in. There's 10 hours ago. Just in. Breaking news. Don Lemon just doubled down and trashed the congregation he attempted to incite rioting. Well, why would you think he would ever apologize? That's not who these people are. That's not who these people. That's not who they are. Why would you ever think they would apologize for anything like that? They would never apologize for anything like that, ever. Of course, that's who they don't double down. They triple down. It's who they are. They are unapologetic because this is the way they believe. And I say believe because they believe in a lot of false crap. And in all their own little minds, they know they're so insignificant that they all want to feel like a hero. And that's, dude, It's the whole thing about going back to what we were talking about. They all look like clowns for the most part. Like the people, the women who dye their hair, the dudes who dye their hair, they paint their fingernails, piercings, tattoos. They all look like clowns. It's funny because they want to be unique, but they all end up looking like, say it with me, bosses, clowns. Say it with me. Clowns. So that's all it is. It's a big circus, dude. It's a big freaking circus. Let's hear what he's got to say. They're entitled white supremacists. Of course he would say that. Of course he would. That's who they are.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type.
They're entitled to go worship in their church. I'm surprised Don Lemon didn't find a way, which I'm sure he is trying to find it, a way to like spin it where he's the victim in all this.
Type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled.
You're not a Christian. You're a fag. You're a retard fag. You're not a Christian.
Entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidating.
Go into a mosque and do that, motherfucker. You faggot. Go into a fucking mosque, you faggot, and fucking try what you did in that church. I guarantee you won't be greeted quite as well. You know, I don't think they like fags too much at the mosque. And you're talking about religious freedom, but the mosques are okay. We can have those all over the place. Don't you dare touch them. Don't you dare go near them. Don't you even try. But let's raid a white church because they're Nazis. These people are fucking insane, dude. I hate every single one of them. They're retarded. I hate them, dude. And I don't like to use the word hate, but because like it really starts to boil down to your DNA when you start to hate somebody, and that results in bad things. Starts to fester. So I shouldn't say hate. I guess I'm as close to hate as I can get for these fagtards who are raiding churches, thinking that it's okay. Try it in a mosque, you bitch. Try it in a mosque.
Tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also.
No, there you go. There you have it. There's the ego. There's the ego. Oh, I'm the biggest name there. There's the ego. By the way, I'll fight Don Lemon for charity. Again, I think I said this on my last show. I will fight any of these people for charity. We'll set up a ring. There'll be tickets. All ticket sales will go to charity. But I will fight them. We'll put on some gloves. And, it would be very fun to see what would happen in the ring. But it would be for a good cause. Everyone would win. Except Don Lemon. He wouldn't. But everyone else would win. I swear I would, man.
Is white men realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
That's great. Don Lemon. White men are the biggest terror threat in this country. Also, Don Lemon marries a white guy. The hypocrisy of these motherfuckers, dude. It never ends. It's never ending. It is never ending. We gotta wake up, dude. I don't care if you're even slightly a little bit tolerant to the left. You gotta stop. You gotta stop being tolerant to the left at all. We are not the tolerant side. The right is not tolerant. We don't need to be tolerant. We're known for that. Let's act like it. Let's start, if they're going to call us racist, let's start acting like it. I don't give a fuck what you call me. Ain't going to hurt my feelings one bit. You know what hurts my feelings? When people break into churches. And then they call everyone else racist. Oh my gosh. It's like they're literally instigating in order to create a problem. I am sick of these faggots, dude. I'm so sick of these faggots. I'm sick of the left. I hate them. Right there. I'm right below hate. I'm right below hate. Right below hate. I don't hate. I'm right below hate. This shit's got to stop, though. This shit has to stop. And these motherfuckers don't understand that they're trying to protect people that wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. With the Somalis and the illegal immigrants and everything. They wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. The Somalis didn't go to that lesbian bitch's vigil, candlelight vigil. There were no Somalis at that candlelight vigil. You know why? They didn't give a fuck. She was protesting on their behalf. They didn't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't even know about it. They probably don't even hear about it. They don't give a shit. They're living in a whole different world mindset. I'm fucking done with it, dude. It's gotta end. This whole retardation that we've been in for nearly, I'd say like 8 years now, but really hardcore for the past 5. It's gotta end. People, dude, I don't understand it. It's like Americans want to sabotage themselves. It's like it's literally like taking a gun and pointing it at your big toe and pulling the trigger. That's what these people do. It's no wonder they ain't got a leg to stand on. But it's like 1984, dude. It's we've gotten to the world of they lie and they gaslight and they make things up in order to get you to feel a certain way emotionally, in order to get you out of your realm of thinking critically. They want you to think emotionally instead of critically. Go storm a church as long as it's white. You know, that's fine. There might be an ICE agent in that white church. Go storm it. I'm being sarcastic. I'm really fucking done with this shit. I don't know what else to say. Like, if these people haven't proven themselves to you at this point, then I don't know what else to tell you because they're evil. They're just straight up, they're not Christians. They'll even lie to your face like this gay fag Don Lemon here, this retard faggot. He'll lie to your face and say, I'm Christian in a church. He hates Christians. He hates America. He hates you. He hates everybody. And that's why I tried to say I don't hate them, because that will really get you to a point, man. I try not to hate so much. I try not to hate. The hate will take you to a point where you start doing crap like this. So I'm trying to stay right on that level, right below hate. You know what I mean? Because that'll eat you up, much like these idiots.
Getting the operation together again. This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out.
So Don Lemon said that he had nothing to do with it. He was following and he was being a journalist. And then this video comes out and it's like, oh, he was actually leading it.
I can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason it may look like MAGA coded.
Where's your white husband?
But there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have.
Oh, he's right behind him. He just blends in with the snow.
Have allies, as I said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go. Let's go. Okay. Thank you guys for allowing me to be here. Thank you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Can it get any greasier? Can it literally get any greasier?
Come into our house, and they've interrupted. These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. And this stirs division and rancor. And in the end, it's not helpful. Ultimately, I believe they've lost. They've emptied a house of worship. Everybody's gone home. Their point has been proven worthless. And so, in the end, I think they lose. But more importantly, if I was to break into any of their houses uninvited, cause derision and upset according to their values, I would be kicked out ultimately. It's not a good way.
Yeah. Common sense. Common sense. Just common sense stuff we're talking here. That's what I just said a minute ago. I said, well, yeah, you try to break it. If you try to go to Don Lemon's house and protest, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be happy. He'll probably call the cops on you. You know, and he'll cry. He'll cry a lot, and then it'd be the biggest news story of all time. It'd be a lynching. It'd be the biggest racist lynch. I get he'd have no harm. But if someone just knocked on his door, it'd be like Don Lemon's like, I got lynched. You know, like that's the kind of one of the best comments is they scream out in pain while they're striking you.
I feel violated. I feel interrupted. I feel angry.
May I ask you something? When you were saying if you had showed up at their house, they're saying that people are showing up at houses where they're citizens without due process and breaking and entering a house. One that we saw, I've been watching from New York, with a battering ram into someone's private property, and there's no recourse. Yeah.
This fucking retard is making shit up in order to excuse himself for, I wouldn't say breaking and entering, but I would say trespassing, because he wasn't there to attend the service. He was there to disrupt it. Dude, these people are such scumbags. They're, oh my gosh, dude. They are, dude, oh my gosh. I can't believe how, like a human being, how can you not have any sort of conscience at all? How can you not have any sort of heart, soul, or conscience? And you're going to walk into a church and disrupt it and then say, I'm the victim. Oh, it tears me up, man.
There's no, you understand what I'm saying?
This is all part of a much larger dialogue, in my opinion.
Drop his mic.
You know, on one side are people who watched a previous administration bring 12 million people in over the course of 4 years, and many of them undocumented, many of them criminals, etc. This is another administration's corrective. Now, whether you agree with the policies or procedures, I think I could actually be sympathetic to some of the things where there have been challenges to fashion and decency. At the same time, these are what are called targeted interventions by ICE to keep the American people safe.
If I respectfully may interject here, I've been out reporting on a lot of these, and they're not targeted. There are no warrants signed by a judge, let me finish. And they're American citizens, many of them. Most of the people that they detain don't have criminal convictions or criminal records.
I'm not going to.
Doesn't matter if you don't have a criminal conviction. If you're here illegally, bye-bye. See ya. Get gone. Leave. Don't want you. Don't want you. I don't care if you committed a crime or not. If you're here in the United States illegally, goodbye. Go. Get the fuck out of here immediately. And I hope ICE gets your asses out as soon as possible.
going to get into the weeds. This is.
But you should know that, though. Don't you think that's part of it?
Yes, and I could also show you many.
I hate Don Lemons. Oh, I don't want to use the word hate. I don't want to. I don't even know if I can keep watching this. It's torture. It's torture for me to keep watching this. It's literal torture. Let me take this off the screen for a minute. I can't look at his stupid face for another minute. I got to take a break from his stupid fucking gay face. Man, this, ew, dude, this burns me up. It burns me up. Let me get some chat here. I want to thank y'all for being here, by the way. Thank you for putting up with me tonight. Let's see. Pierce says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble to petition the government redress of grievances. But I will forewarn you, whom you shall fear him. Oh, this is a Bible verse here. Fear him. This should be a capital H. Which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. Capital H. PvP says, what the hell does being Christian have to do with white supremacy? I think that's a fantastic question. I think that's a fantastic question. I think that's a very good question to ask. You know, I have no clue. They'll spin anything the way they want it, you know. They'll spin it the way they want it to. They'll always make ends meet somehow. They're always the victim too, you know, always the victim. Also says Don loves leftist buzzwords. Replaces the need to think. Absolutely, 100%. Says Don is also a racist. I would agree. The guy wants civil rights and doesn't think they should apply to white men. Yeah, that's exactly the whole point of my. That's what I've been trying to say on the show for years now. Racism, dude. When people think racism, they always think it's whitey against black. That's not. I mean, yeah, that is racism. It is racism, but that's not the only form. There's multiple forms of racism out there. And also, I don't even really believe in racism. Personally, I don't even believe in racism. Do I think it, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. But going back to this whole thing we've been talking about through the whole show about stereotypes and broad generalizations, and then a lot of them actually making sense, but it doesn't apply to everybody. Like, that's why I don't really believe in racism. If I'm hoping I'm making some sort of sense out here. I mean, it's just the way my mind works. You know, it's I don't think it's that difficult to figure out, honestly. I don't think I'm a genius. I don't even think I'm special. I'm just like, yeah, a lot of people do this, not all of them. Learn who they are individually and we'll find out. You know, that's the only way to know. That's the only way. Otherwise, you might generalize, but I don't think it's fair to go into a conversation generalizing people or being racist to them before you get to know them. I don't think that's fair either. At all. I might seem like a harsh asshole, but I'm actually a pretty fair guy. You know what I mean? You know, I'll come on here and say a lot of things, but I'm actually like pretty fair, super nice guy. But I don't deal with this bullshit, this communist bullshit, you know? Oh, fuck, here we go. I'm sorry to skip some comments here, but I got to do it. Gary, Indiana in the house. Yeah, baby. Hoff, I'll bet all these protesters got the jab can make them crazy. That's true. That is true. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. Good to see you. Good to see you. I always like to hear from Gary. Luckily, you're still alive. You haven't been killed yet. You have not, and that's a stereotype or a generalization for Gary, Indiana. But luckily, you're still alive. And I love that. I mean, get back to here. Yeah, PvP, if Don done this in a mosque, he wouldn't be breathing. Absolutely. But he wouldn't, though. He wouldn't. He would, because he's not against racism. He's against whites. There's a difference there because, dude, there's a lot of, like, again, going back to what I was just saying, racism isn't just whites against blacks. A lot of Somalis are racist. A lot of Mexicans are racist. A lot of Mexicans don't like blacks. I don't even know if you guys knew that. But, I mean, I'm sure maybe you did. But Mexicans typically don't like blacks. Blacks typically don't like Mexicans. But nobody hates blacks more than blacks. And that's the truth. Black on black crime is the biggest thing. Like, nobody hates blacks more than black people. So, like, I don't get where the stereotypes and the racism comes from. It seems to be like an inert sort of thing, you know? Absolutely. Guys like Don never listen to others. Narcissist. That is narcissism. It is. A lot of these people, they do think they're better than a lot of other people. And it was like, I was watching this video earlier. I've been watching a lot of these videos of, because they've been coming up on my YouTube because I watch them so often of arrests. I like to watch people get arrested. I like to watch how they react to being arrested, and how they try to explain themselves off. I think is very fascinating. Because you already know going into the YouTube video that this person is guilty of a crime, or else there wouldn't be a video. So going into, like, I'm clicking a video. I already know this person's guilty. I'm like, okay, let's see how they try to spin it to make themselves seem innocent. And I've been watching a ton of these videos, and I find it very fascinating the way people try to spin their own stories to seem innocent. But they always end up going to jail. They always end up getting arrested. They always end up, embarrassed. And, of course, that's the reason why the whole video on YouTube exists. If it was a boring video, it wouldn't be on YouTube. It wouldn't get hits. So that's why I see them. But I do see these videos, and I think it's very... It's fun to look into a stupid human mind who's so stupid that they've already gotten themselves into a stupid situation, and then they try to use stupid excuses to get them out of it. And I just find that very fascinating. I don't know why. I guess it kind of helps me figure out when someone's lying to me and when they're not, because I've seen so many of these videos at this point, and you kind of pick up on details where people are not telling the truth so much anymore, and you really pick up on the mannerisms and the way people start, like, acting whenever they're caught in a lie, narcissists. A lot of narcissists are so over the top. It's much like George Costanza from Seinfeld, which I know maybe I'm talking to my audience here. Maybe you're old enough to know Seinfeld references. But George Costanza in Seinfeld said, "It's not a lie if you believe it." And I think that's really the baseline of narcissism. Is that phrase altogether. I believe that is the baseline of narcissism. It's not a lie if you believe it. Oh, look at this here. Marco Esquendoles. What's up, boss? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope all the bosses are doing well. I'm not going to keep this show going too much longer. I'm probably going to wrap it up before too long here. It's getting a little late, and I have to get a new car battery, I think, tomorrow, because my car is not firing. Not firing up. But we'll go a little bit longer. We'll go a little bit longer here. Let's see what other dude. I just got so mad watching Don Lemon. Like I just got so mad. It's hard. I don't know how people don't get mad about this. Yeah, oh, what up, Dale? How you doing, brother? I don't know how people don't get mad about it, you know? Check this out. I've made fun of Benny Johnson before. People call him gay. Some people think Benny Johnson is gay. He might be gay. I don't know. He's got some kids, but, you know, there's a lot of closeted people. In my opinion, Benny Johnson, he's whatever. You know, he's the guy on the left there. I personally believe only gay people have that haircut. So I'm generalizing. But old Benny Clickbait Johnson out here. Let's take a look. They might be the best part about this whole Don Lemon thing is the DOJ might actually go after his ass under the KKK law, which is the whole reason they put it up, so KKK wouldn't go into churches. And now Don Lemon, who's accusing everyone of being a racist, is now storming churches like a KKK member. This is the whole thing I've been saying. Fascist. You are the fascist. They're all bashing fascists. No, you are the Nazi. You are the fascist. You are the communist. You're calling it all your buddies comrade. Dude, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone who calls someone else comrade. I don't trust anybody. Nobody who uses the word comrade. Nobody.
Crimes that have occurred, exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
I mean, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights, especially the Enforcement Act, which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is an affinity to the FACE Act, an obvious and egregious demonstrable violation of the FACE Act because they were entering a place of worship, harassing and threatening. We just played a video of a man.
Let me be clear here. I'm not watching this video thinking that Don Lemon's going to get arrested. He's not. He's not. There's not going to be any consequences for any of this, in my opinion. If there is, I'll follow up and say, hey, I was wrong. You know? But why I'm saying that there's not going to be any consequences is because the same people who set this up are the same people who will let them free. It's all part of the game. It's literally all part of the game. It's part of the game. As much as I want to think that Benny Clickbait Johnson's right here, I don't think he is.
Bearded man who was threatening to attack the Christians that were worshiping there. So it seems like an obvious FACE Act violation. But the Klan Act here, it is on screen. First time I've heard it mentioned. Can you unpack this for us, Harmeet?
Yeah, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes, and it goes back to the time when President Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and yet the southern states, Dixiecrats mainly, were refusing to give them equal rights. And in fact, that you had sheriffs and you had law enforcement harassing the newly freed slaves. So the Klan Act is a law that makes it illegal to terrorize citizens, to violate their civil rights, to get together and conspire to violate the civil rights. It is often used against law enforcement, but is now used against others as well. So whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens, the Klan Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge. We in the federal law.
It seems like a reach. Seems like I don't feel like you have to go that far with it. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun to think about. Yeah, we'll use the KKK Act on the black guy who's storming churches. That would be very ironic. I really don't see it going that way. If anything, just trespassing. Just get him for trespassing and unlawful, disorderly conduct or something. Like, we don't have to go to clickbait Benny Johnson. I would love it. I'm not saying I wouldn't love it. I'm just saying we don't have to go that far. We can be way more basic. Like, you're trespassing and I mean, like, I can't just run into a church streaking. Like, I feel like that's way less harmful than what these people did. And they're also righteous, aren't they? They're all righteous. They're correct. Oh, it's my way or the highway. We're right, you're wrong. That is the liberal mentality. What's going on with this one? There's Matt Walsh. Like Matt Walsh. What up, Dale? Dale wants a little camera time here. Here's the congregation. It's just chairs. They don't even have pews. It's just a church. The church wasn't on the streets violating anyone's rights, but they entered the building. These are the same people who were like, the January 6th insurrectionists were criminals. Arrest them all. Well, okay. If that's what you believe, well, shouldn't it be the same for you?
Guys standing up now saying, get out of our church. Screaming. Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid.
Like, he's having a good time. This is what Don Lemon lives for. He's having a good time. He loves pissing people off. That's what he lives to do. Imagine how pissed off his husband is all the time. He's like, you're never home. You're always storming churches. Why are you never home? You never cook anymore, Don. That's what his husband says.
And, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very.
Yeah, I imagine it is uncomfortable and traumatic when you fucking raid them while they're in a service for worship. I imagine it. Hey, Don. I imagine it is a little bit traumatic and uncomfortable. I imagine it is a little bit traumatic and uncomfortable. You piece of shit. You faggot retard. You dumb fuck.
Very slippery right here.
Yeah. Well, it's a little slippery. I wish you would have broke your fucking leg.
Uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please. Really slippery.
Dude, I wish he would have fucking broke his leg. I wish he would have slipped and got a fucking hemorrhage in his head.
Kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
Yeah, and protesting, it's about traumatizing people. Fuck liberals, dude. Fuck liberals. Fuck the left. I gotta go soon. Look, I'm gonna put this just in the chat here because maybe Tony would want to hang out. But if anyone else actually wants to hang out with me, I'll put the link in the chat. But I gotta go soon. I can't get much more pissed off than this, man. Again, I try not to use the word hate. I try my best, but I feel like I'm taking crazy pills out here, man. Like, what the fuck is going on anymore? We have to have zero tolerance for the left. Zero. And I'm not like the left. I'm not saying you gotta go out there and storm their homes. No, don't do that. That's the opposite. I'm saying you gotta stop putting up with this shit. Call them out. When you see bullshit, call out the bullshit. That's why I'm here tonight. That's exactly why I did this whole show, is to call out the bullshit. I'm sick of this fucking shit, dude. I'm so fucking... Oh, dude. I'm sick of these fags. I'm sick of these retards. I'm sick of these pierced up gay people pepper spraying Arby's food when they're door dashing. They're all a bunch of fucktards. And they go to hell for all I care. Go to fucking hell. Go to fucking hell. We're not putting up with this shit anymore. We're not going to do it. I'm sick of living in Candyland. It's not that. We don't live in fucking Candyland. All right? We don't live in fucking Candyland. Rainbows and sunshines and unicorns and piercings and tattoos and fucking in the ass all day and all night and let everybody know about it. The smells. Oh. You know why gay people smell so bad? Is because they have so much turd on their dick. Sorry for that joke. Sorry. But, hey, had to do it. On that note, I love the bosses. Go fuck all the fags and liberal retards. I hate you, but right below the line of hate. I don't actually hate you. Just right below that line. Just like right, like on the surface level. I'm like a fish, like right below the surface level of the water. I'm right there with it. But I do want to thank everyone who watched Hoffcast tonight. I hope you're as upset as I am about this shit. You should be. You should be very pissed off about this. You should be mad. Peter, thank you so much. You're right. I don't hate them. I hate their evil ways. You're right, man. Peter also says the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way in the forward mouth do I hate. Absolutely. Hannah Seeds, Hoffcast with the most epic rants. I appreciate you, man. I go off, and I don't really give a fuck anymore. I don't. If you keep giving a fuck, they're gonna keep getting away with this shit. You know what I'm saying? If you keep giving a fuck and caring what people think, well, then they're gonna keep getting away with it. So you gotta stop giving a fuck about it. That's the only way. That is literally the only. You gotta stop. Like, oh, what if I say fag? What if I say retard? Well, what if you do? What if you do? The thing is, if I use those words, by the way, when I say the word retard, I'm not going after actually mentally ill people. I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's pretty clear on that. I would never insult the actual mentally handicapped. I like them. I love the Downs. I'm a big fan of the Downs. But when I say retards, it's, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about actually like mentally handicapped people. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about retarded fags. And if we don't start calling these people out, we're going to get 8 more years of horrible Star Wars movies and Star Trek films. How gay is the new Avengers movie going to be? I guarantee it's just going to be all the Avengers just bang. It's going to look like Freddie Mercury's bed, except all the Avengers are just under one big sheet banging. Because they're all gay. All right. Yeah, Tony's backstage. I don't want to keep him waiting. I want to thank y'all for being here tonight. I'll be back soon, especially when I see something that pisses me off so much like this did tonight. But I hope you're all doing well. Keep in touch. You know, I like to do that. I'm starting to get back into the game a little bit more now. So, yeah, keep in touch and everything. Let me say hi to everyone in the chat before I head out. I do have to be up somewhat early, so I do have to go. Base Brooks or Troll, but in real life. Pleasant Valley Picker CA 7681, aka PVP. Jess Sparks. Peter, of course, Tony Nasser. Hand of Seeds. Jim, man, we had a good crowd tonight. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. It was not intentional. As I always say, there's Kate. There's Kate. Long time no see there. Make sure. Hopefully I didn't miss it. Oh, Marco Esquinoles. The funnest name in the world to say. I swear. Say it out loud right now. Marco Esquinoles. It's a fun name to say. But anyways, yeah. Look, I used to end my shows by saying stay vigilant. I don't really want to do that anymore because that's kind of what the lefties do. So I'm not going to say stay vigilant. I'm just going to say don't take any wooden nickels. Watch your ass and take care of yourselves because no one else will. There's Dale. There he is. Hoffendale signing off. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here so much tonight. I love you. No homeowners.